Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video lecture, we will see Fourier transform and its properties. Till now, we have seen how to represent the periodic signals extended over the interval minus infinity to infinity using the Fourier series. The non-periodic time-limited signals can also be represented by the Fourier series. However, the non-periodic signals which extend from minus infinity to plus infinity can be represented more conveniently using the Fourier transform in the frequency domain. So it is possible to find the Fourier transform of periodic signal as well. For the periodic signal, T0 tends to infinity, hence the frequency F0 is equal to 1 upon T0, which is equal to tends to 0. Therefore, the difference between the spectral component, which is F0, becomes extremely small and they come very close to each other. As we can see, this continuous spectral here, the frequency are very close to each other, so it look like this. So due to this, the frequency spectrum appears to be continuous. Okay, and here in figure A, the line spectrum showing vertical spectral lines at frequency F0, 2F0, 3F0 up to infinity. Okay, next point is necessity of Fourier transform. Any signal is built up by addition of elementary signals which are at different frequencies and have different amplitudes and relative phases. Using the Fourier transform, we can plot the amplitude and phase spectrums, which provides us all the information about amplitudes and relative phases of such elementary signals. Second, the Fourier transform can be used for the analysis of signal. It is used for transformation from the time domain into the frequency domain. The Fourier transform can also be used for analysis of LTI, that is linear time invariant systems, as we have discussed earlier. Okay, so next is to define Fourier transform. The Fourier transform of a signal x of t is defined as follows. X of omega is equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity inside integration x of t into e raised to minus of j omega t into dt. Or we can write in frequency term, that is x of f is equal to integration of minus infinity to plus infinity inside integration x of t into put value of omega as 2 pi f, so e raised to minus j 2 pi f t into dt. These equations are known as analysis equations. So here the Fourier transform is used for the conversion of time domain signal into the frequency domain. So the output signal is frequency domain, so that's why we can write the frequency domain to the left hand side, that can be in terms of x of omega or x of f, and in right hand side the time domain can be present. Okay, then second is inverse Fourier transform. The signal x of t can be obtained back from Fourier transform, that is x of f, by using the inverse Fourier transform. The inverse Fourier transform is defined as follows. X of t is equal to 1 upon 2 pi integration of minus infinity to plus infinity x of omega into e raised to j omega t d omega, or x of t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f into e raised to j 2 pi f t df. The in Fourier transform, e raised to minus j omega t is takes place, and for inverse Fourier transform, e raised to plus j omega t is there. Okay. Second, the representation of Fourier transform. So let us see how to represent the Fourier transform. The signal x of t and its Fourier transform, that is x of f, form a Fourier transform pair which can be represented as like this. Okay, here the x of t signal forming a pair with x of f, or in other way we can represent is as follows. that is x of t is equal to function of x of t, or we can say the Fourier transform of x of t, or it can be also represented x of t is equal to f inverse of x of f. Okay, so the Fourier transform is a complex function of frequency f. Therefore it is possible to express in the complex exponential form, which is given as follows: x of f is equal to x of f into e raised to j theta of f. In this expression, this mod of x of f is nothing but the amplitude spectrum of x of t, and the theta of f is nothing but the phase spectrum. The amplitude spectrum is a graph of amplitude versus frequency, whereas the phase spectrum is a graph of phase angle versus frequency. Okay, so next is to study what are the conditions for the existence of Fourier transform. So we have studied the Fourier series, and in that we have studied Dirichlet conditions. Similarly, these conditions should be satisfied by a signal x of t, then only it is possible to obtain the Fourier transform of x of t. So likewise, for the periodic signals, the integration is obtained over one period. However, for the periodic signals, it will be obtained over a range of minus infinity to plus infinity. Fourth, differentiation in time domain. Fifth, duality property. Sixth, integration in time domain. 7, time shifting. 8, conjugate function, frequency spectrum. The signal x of t will have to satisfy the following conditions so that its Fourier transform can be obtained. The first condition is the function x of t should be single valued in any finite interval t. Second, it should have a finite numbers of discontinuities in any finite interval time period. Then third point is the function x of t should have a finite number of maxima and minima in any finite interval of time t. And fourth condition is the function x of t should be an absolutely integrable function. That means integration minus infinity to plus infinity mod of x of t dt is less than infinity. The conditions stated above are sufficient conditions, but they are not necessary conditions. Second, the amplitude and phase spectrum. The amplitude and phase spectrums are continuous rather than being discrete in nature. Out of them, the amplitude spectrum of real valued function x of t exhibits an even symmetry. That is, x of t is equal to x of minus f, and the phase spectrum has an odd symmetry, which is equal to theta of phi is equal to minus of theta of minus phi. Okay, so friends, we have seen here the necessity of Fourier transform. Then what are the essential conditions for the existence of Fourier transform? Next is to study properties of Fourier transform. Some of the important properties of the Fourier transform are listed as follows. First is linearity or superposition. Second, area under x of f. Third, time scaling. Fourth, differentiation in time domain. Fifth, duality property, or we can say symmetry. 6, integration in time domain. 7, time shifting. 8, conjugate function. 9, frequency shifting. 10, multiplication in time domain. 11, area under x of t, and last, convolution theorem. So let us understand these properties one by one. First property is linearity or superposition. If x1 of t represent the Fourier transform pair as x1 of f and x2 of t represent Fourier transform of x2 of f, then for all constants such as a1 and a2, we can write left hand side term as a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t, and at right hand side a1 x1 of f plus a2 x2 of f. So in a superposition theorem, the same constant should be multiplied with the input as well as at the output side. So here we can see the x1 of t and x2 of t are time domain signal. So the constant is multiplied with the a1 plus a2 into x1 of t into x2 of t, and same at the right hand side, the same constant a1 and a2 is multiplied with the x1 of m and x2 of f signal. Okay, so this is the statement for linearity or superposition theorem. Here that means the linear combination of inputs get transformed into linear combination of their Fourier transform. This property can be used to obtain the Fourier transform of complicated function by decomposing it in the form of sum of elementary functions. Okay, so let us see the proof of given statement. Here the left hand side term is a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t. We have to take here Fourier transform of that left hand side term. Then it becomes minus infinity to plus infinity a1 x1 of t plus a2 x2 of t into e raised to minus j 2 pi f t dt. As we have seen the definition of Fourier transform, in that we have studied the x of t is equal to x of f is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of t e raised to minus j 2 pi f t into dt. This is the definition of Fourier transform. Same here, we have to apply the Fourier transform equation to the left hand side term. So this is your x of t function. So the x1 of t into e raised to minus j 2 pi f t into dt. Okay, then after that we have to just separate out this e raised to minus j term to a1 x1 of t and a2 x2 of t. Then the equation becomes integration of minus infinity to plus infinity a1 x1 of t into e raised to minus j 2 pi f t dt. Separate above equation over the sign plus, then minus infinity to plus infinity a2 x2 of t into e raised to minus j 2 pi f t into dt. Okay, so this equation is nothing but Fourier transform of the given signal, which is e raised to minus j 2 pi f t, or we can say e raised to minus of 2 pi f t or omega t. Okay, so it will become a1 as it is, and this can be represented in terms of frequency as per the definition of Fourier transform. So the individual term, this is equal to x1 of f, and the individual term, this is equal to x2 of f. Okay, so here the left hand side term is equal to the right hand side term, hence it is proof. Second is time scaling property. Let x of t and x of f form a Fourier transform pair, and let alpha be a constant. Then the time scaling property states that x of alpha t in a time domain represents the 1 upon mod of alpha into x of f upon alpha in frequency domain. Here the x of alpha t represents a time scale signal, and this x of f upon alpha represent the frequency scaled signal or scaled frequency spectrum. For the value of alpha less than 1, then x of alpha t will be compressed signal and x of f upon alpha be the expanded version of x of f. Okay, and for alpha is greater than 1, then the reverse operation can be takes place, that is x of alpha t is the expanded signal and x of f upon alpha can be represent a compressed reversion of x of f. Okay, so let us see the proof of scaling property when alpha is positive, that is alpha is greater than 0. Alpha being a constant, and it can be positive or negative, that is alpha is greater than 0 or less than 0. So in first condition, consider the alpha is positive. So here the f of x of alpha t. If we take the Fourier transform of x of alpha t, then the equation becomes f of x of alpha t is equal to, just write this equation in terms of Fourier transform. As per the definition of Fourier transform, it will become minus infinity to plus infinity x of alpha t into e raised to minus of j 2 pi f t into dt. Okay, here put the value of tau is equal to alpha t and d tau is equal to alpha dt. So using this equation, we can write the value of t is equal to tau upon alpha and dt is equal to d tau upon alpha. So write down the left hand side term as it is, and the right hand side term becomes minus infinity to plus infinity x of, instead of the alpha t we can here write tau, because here we have to put alpha t is equal to tau, then e raised to minus j 2 pi f t dt. So the value of t is tau upon alpha. So write down here e raised to minus j 2 pi f into value of t is tau divided by alpha into the value of dt is d tau divided by alpha. Okay, so take 1 upon alpha constant value outside the integration, and then inside integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau into e raised to minus j 2 pi into f of alpha upon tau into d tau. We have to just arrange this equation again in terms of Fourier transform. Okay, so this equation will again represent the Fourier transform of x of f of alpha. Okay, so whenever the value of alpha is greater than 0, then we will get here value 1 upon alpha into x of f upon alpha. Okay, in the next case, consider the value of alpha is a negative, that is alpha is less than 0. So again take the Fourier transform pair of the left hand side term, that is x of alpha t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of alpha t into e raised to minus j 2 pi f t into dt. Put value of tau is equal to alpha t and d tau is equal to alpha dt. Then value of t becomes tau upon alpha and the value of dt is equal to d tau upon alpha. Put the values of t, d tau and dt in this equation. The equation becomes f of x of alpha t as it is equal to the value of dt is d tau upon alpha. Take 1 upon alpha outside the integration, then inside integration the values are x of tau into e raised to minus j 2 pi f upon alpha into tau d tau. Okay, so after that we will get f upon f into x of alpha t is equal to minus of 1 upon alpha into x of f upon alpha. As here we will get here negative value because the alpha is less than 0. Okay, so for alpha is greater than 0, we will get 1 upon alpha into x of f upon alpha, and for negative value we will get here minus of 1 upon alpha into x of f upon alpha. So in common term or in general way, we can write here the x of alpha t in time domain, and in frequency domain x of f upon alpha into 1 upon alpha. Third property is duality or symmetry property. This property states that if x of t and x of minus f forming a Fourier transform pair, then x of t is x of minus f. That is, here t and f can be interchanged. In the term x of t, x represents the shape of the signal and t shows the variable is time, and in terms of x of minus f, x represents the shape of the spectrum and f shows that the variable is frequency. So the duality theorem tells us that if x of t and x of minus f are the Fourier transform pair, then the shape of the signal in the time domain and the shape of the spectrum can be interchanged. Okay, so here we can prove this statement with the help of this Fourier transform equation. Okay, but here we have to take the inverse Fourier transform first. That is x of t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of t into e raised to power j 2 pi f t into df. This is inverse Fourier transform formula. Okay. Substitute the value of t is equal to minus t, then we will get x of minus t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of t, then this e raised to plus j term becomes minus e raised to minus of j 2 pi of t into df. So interchange t and f, so we will get, instead of t we have to put just f. So x of minus f is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity into x of t into e raised to minus of j 2 pi of t into df. It will become f of x of t. So the interchanging of variable is possible because the Fourier transform is a definite integral where the variables of integrations are dummy variables. Okay, so we can change, or we can here interchange the t and f parameter using duality property. Next is area under x of t. This property states that the area under the curve x of t equals the value of its Fourier transform at f is equal to 0. यानी कभी भी आपका फ्रीक्वेंसी यहाँ पे 0 रहेगा और उसके साथ आपको उसका फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म लेना है यहाँ पे, ठीक है। तो एरिया अंडर एक्स ऑफ टी इज इक्वल टू होता है आपका माइनस इन्फिनिटी टू इन्फिनिटी एक्स ऑफ टी इंटू डी ऑफ टी, द वैल्यू ऑफ एफ इज 0, सो इट इज एक्स ऑफ 0, देन इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ माइनस इन्फिनिटी टू प्लस इन्फिनिटी एक्स ऑफ टी डी टी इज इक्वल टू, उसका भी आपको फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म लेना है। तो आफ्टर टेकिंग फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म जो भी आपके यहाँ पे वैल्यू प्रेजेंट होगा वो फ्रीक्वेंसी का कभी भी 0 होगा, ठीक है। सो इट विल बिकम एक्स ऑफ एफ एट एफ इज इक्वल टू 0. सो द एरिया अंडर द कर्व एक्स ऑफ टी इक्वल्स द वैल्यू ऑफ फोरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म एट एफ इज इक्वल टू 0. ओके, दिस इज द एरिया अंडर एक्स ऑफ टी. नेक्स्ट इज द एरिया अंडर एक्स ऑफ एफ. इट स्टेट्स दैट द एरिया अंडर एक्स ऑफ एफ is equal to the value of signal x of t at t is equal to 0. यहाँ पे आपका फ्रीक्वेंसी 0 था और यहाँ पे आपका t is equal to 0 है. That means if x of t and x of f forming a Fourier transform pair, then area under x of f is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f into df is equal to x of 0. So here by the definition of inverse Fourier transform, x of t is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f into e raised to j 2 pi f t into df. Substitute value of t is equal to 0. Then the equation becomes x of 0 is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of f into e raised to 0. The value of e raised to 0 is 1. So the equation becomes minus infinity to plus infinity x of f into dt. The right hand side of this equation is the area under x of f. Hence the property is proved. So guys, in today's video lecture we have completed linearity property, second scaling property, third duality or symmetry property. Then after that we have seen area under x of t and area under x of f. Okay, so I hope you will like our today's session. The remaining properties we will see in the next video lecture. So we will stop our today's session with the motivational quote, and today's motivational quote for you is, if everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Thank you for watching my videos.